Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, powered by Shopline in association with ICBC and MJ BizCon. I'm Mary Jane Gibson, and I'm here with Jake Kuczeruk, head of Grow Club.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So glad to meet you finally in real life. It sounds like we have a lot of crossover.
Tons of crossover, a lot of connective tissue.
Yeah, so I know that you're head of Grow Club, and you're also heading up something called I Love Growing Marijuana.
Yeah. So ILGM, been around since 2012, started as a farm, and we sell seeds for home grow throughout the U.S.
So what's your background? How did you get into cannabis?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been very familiar with the plant, over the course of the last couple decades. Grew up in the Midwest, selling it a little bit, and then moved to California, and the rest is history. For me, I was biding my time to, enter the market and the regulated market at the right time. And it was about 8 years ago with ArcView. So the ArcView group worked with Steve and Troy, spun up a consultancy with David Abernathy over there, and then did a bunch of consulting on my own before working in manufacturing. I've worked in, ads, do a lot of writing in the space. So yeah, it's been a many hats type of role.
Yeah, it sounds like whether or not you're you're touching all aspects of the industry as a behind the scenes person and sort of out in front too. Like I know you were just judging.
Yes. I was judging the MJ Bowl, so similar to the California State Fair. It was a dream to write about this collection of products. I do pre-rolls, a lot of my my product reviews, I do album pairings with them. So I was kind of the, music guy. Naturally, pre-rolls lends themselves very nicely to checking out shows. But it was fantastic. The caliber of entry was off the charts. Fire King ended up winning it with their Whitethorn Rose Hashful this year. So
whoa, congratulations.
Yeah.
Whitethorn Rose Hashful. I will look forward to checking that out.
Oh, it's such a treat. I mean, I couldn't imagine. You could roll to like a nice dinner party with a nice bottle of wine. Whatever, that's dated. Bring a hashful.
Yeah, nice. So let's talk about the criteria for judging for a second. I'm interested in this because I used to judge cannabis cups back in the day in Amsterdam, wandering around with, frozen cheeks, looking at the canals and feeling, very elevated. What are your criteria now? What does it look like to judge an event like this? How many days do you have? How many categories? That sort of thing.
Couple weeks, 5 total categories, but categories are bifurcated into for pre-roll, it's infused and uninfused. During State Fair, it was solventless infused, solvent infused and uninfused. So the flower people have their work cut out for them, indoor, mixed light, everything. So, but for us, it's a combination of looking at, taking a dry hit, getting a sense of, the terps, the aromas coming off of it. Of course, just how well it's been rolled, the factors into the burn, the aroma when you first just pop the jar open. I mean, all of it really does factor in. But for me, I love focusing on the effects. So,
and what does that look like when you're judging multiple categories or multiple samples in a day?
It means starting at square one every time, or as close damn as you can get to it, So being able there, usually first thing in the morning, especially on weekends, having a chance to just spend time at that joint and, figure out what it compels me to do. Does it make me want to read a book? If I'm reading, am I visualizing in clearer detail than ever before what I'm reading? Or does it make me want to take a walk around the lake? It's, I think that's part of it, really helping hold people's hands with a lot of these products they might not have experience with.
And what does your palate cleanser look like? Like that sniff of coffee in between?
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Coffee. Yeah, coffee for me, just a ton of water. I mean, I can't judge anything without, a fresh, bottle of water next to me. But yeah, usually that fresh fruit, I think can help kind of reset the palate a little bit. But for me, it's effects, so yeah.
Great. And are you lifted right now?
No, this is a big morning. We had, I actually had to bust out an article or two, do some emails, but the second this is done, you better believe it. Yeah, I think it'll be nice to spend some time actually sitting down, eating and not standing for once during this week. And enjoying some of the lovely samples I've been gifted throughout the week. So.
That sounds fantastic. Well, let's talk about Grow Club and I Love Growing Marijuana. What exactly is going on over at Grow Club?
Oh, my favorite thing in the world. So, this really harkens back to the earliest days of legalization in which, you could go into, if you're a cannabis lover, you go into a retailer, they might have an acupuncture night. They might have a bingo night. They might just have, social hangouts teaching people about the plant. And over the years, I think we've gotten so far away from that where it's a lot of, hype product drops. A lot of these, going into a lounge can feel very intimidating for people, especially home grow. People are afraid to look stupid. People don't they're intimidated, and a lot of the knowledge is kind of gatekept. But for us, we want to introduce top experts. I know you're friends with Christina Wong as well. She's our LA leader.
Not a fruit and flower.
Fruit and flower. But what she does is just really hold your hands and keep people from screwing up, especially if they're new to it. I think that's kind of the biggest barrier to entry, for many is I'm going to spend all this time and I might get something extremely subpar and wonder why I even wasted that time. But, with this, I have an amazing secret weapon, which is where I have a cousin up in Humboldt. And
the cousin?
Oh, yeah. So every time, I'm growing out on my porch, I can FaceTime them. Hey, is this spider mites? Is this powdered mildew? 30 seconds, get my answer, move on with it. Now with Grow Club, you have a cousin in Humboldt, you have somebody that can hold your hands. And then, of course, coming in, every month or so, having people like, the leads, cultivation leads from Maven, like teaching you how to home grow, holding your hands. And more importantly, it's a conversation. It isn't just sit up there, watch them speak, and then, I have a question. No, it is a proper conversation where people are not afraid to share tips and tricks, not afraid to, to make people feel empowered, and there's a social sesh component. Yes, naturally, we have everybody, Stores and Bickle, King Solomon Nutrients, Vivi Cure, Bovida, of course. We want to make sure that we're giving people the accessories to make sure their home grow comes out perfect. We're giving them the seeds at ILGM. Start everybody on Blue Dream Auto Flowers. It's an easy one. My parents are growing them right now.
Wow. So the I Love Growing Marijuana provides the seeds, and then you enter Grow Club, and you are step-by-step walked through how to get those seeds, how to pop them.
Germination workshop. Here's a plastic bag, paper towel. We're going to, do that as a kind of a tactile exercise. And then, of course, the sesh component. So, iPoppy, Maven, Garden House Brands, we want them to be putting their products out there so people can feel unencumbered. People can feel, loose enough to be able to say, look, I will ask a question. What is the difference between, cocoa versus dirt? Like a lot of the basics, we just, it's about making friends as much as it is, learning a new skill. Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I ever tried to grow anything, I did it by myself. And I can just say it didn't go well. And I called Danny Danko, who I know is also...
was our New York. Yeah, we're really honored to have him on board.
Yep. And I asked him what I did wrong. And he said, basically everything. So next time, call me first.
I tell people you can never do it wrong because it's always a learning experience. And, I have a friend, you literally just take the seed, put it in a solo cup, put it above your sink, and then use the little hose every once in a while to give it a squirt. And even if it ends up being, a little bonsai tree, it's something you can feel proud of,
Yeah, it's like growing your first tomato.
Exactly.
Cocoa coir or Rockwell?
Oh, Rockwell. Yeah, so
really? I was not expecting that
answer. For me, yeah.
It's because you know what nutrients, I
am a little dialed in, personally. But for me, I actually, my preferred weapon of choice is going in with pretty much no intervention. I just like to do that to get the pure essence of how it looks, how it smells, without any Frankenstein science. And then, of course, once I feel good about it, then I'll invest in the Frankenstein science and making something a little bit more robust. So,
compost tea, what sort of situation are you doing?
For me, I just like to start with just, proper, just organic, like Fox Farm and stuff. It can be great. I've kind of tried it all, but, basic organic potting soil for the most part, fine with it.
What is the most astonishing strain that has come out for you in the last 10 years?
I got one I love to hype. So this was I was always a fan of Tangy. It's one of my absolute go-tos. Crockett Family Farms, obviously the ones behind it, huge fans. We were honored because we did a lot with Latinas in Cannabis. We kind of built this relationship with Sue from Crockett. And not only has she been a guest instructor at our workshops before, but we did an exclusive drop of Tangy Queen. So it's a gassier, funkier Tangy, and appropriate to wash up to rosin. Like it is like everything you love, the energy boosted, like the terps of Tangy, but just something that's a little bit more rich, more nuanced. So that one, obviously, I'm gonna plug. It's a favorite, but beyond that, I mean, being a buddhist, I feel like this is a cop-out answer, but I mean, we seem to all be obsessed with whitethorn rose, and country rose, paradise rose. I mean, all of the different weird variants of it.
And that's straight out of Humboldt, correct?
Yeah. So originally whitethorn was John Casale, Huckleberry Hill. It was actually named by Amanda Ryman, which it's a little secret fact I think people don't know, but hog Hogwash Farms grows it. That's who grew it for the Fire King hash roll that just did so well. But you're starting to see it get out there more, and I've seen Punch extracts, I've seen Master Makers drop Whitethorn, but it's just a just amazing aroma, taste, but more importantly, just perfect effects. Everything you look for, where it just checks like every box. You know?
Well, I enjoy listening to you talk about marijuana, cannabis, pot, weed, bud. What do you call it?
Oh, for me, that's a good question. It depends who I'm hanging out with, honestly. Yeah.
Funny, I called it pot earlier, and I was like, I rarely say that, but I was speaking to someone who was a little older than I was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, for me, probably the go-to is usually just going to be weed, you know, and cannabis. But, you know, at work, you know, we got started in 2012. You know, for us, like marijuana, you know, it's a word that I don't, you know, I'm not a huge fan of and where it came from. But at the end of the day, I do kind of like the boldness of it. I like putting it on the front of the t-shirt as a little bit of a fuck you of like, you know, at the end of the day, like I want people to see that and get excited about this plant, you know, and right now, especially with the external pressure coming from the feds, and, you know, this is the time where it's about celebrating the plant, celebrating home grow, and being bold in the face of increased scrutiny, to say the least.
Yeah, I love that. I love that joy as active resistance, sort of celebration as things get more and more difficult, the more joyful we have to be as a community and a culture and a movement. So what's next for you with all of your all of the things you have going?
That's a great question. You know, for us, it's continuing to expand Grow Club, you know, so we do them in Lynchburg, Virginia, Chicago, LA, New York. But, you know, we're doing, I think Portland and Seattle are coming up next month, January. So very excited to have those. One of them's at a brewery, which is really cool. Yeah. And we have another one at a consumption lounge. That's always popular for us. And then from there, Ohio, where is in the cards, moving that forward. San Diego, smaller ones in Long Beach, and yeah, a couple other spots. But for us, you know, we got a huge audience on the East Coast, and the weird regulatory stuff in Virginia always makes it a really favorable market. But it's crazy. People come in from other states. In Virginia, we have people coming in from North Carolina. In LA, we have people coming in from Arizona. I mean, 400 miles for a 4-hour event and then home that same night. Bonkers.
They want to bring their stash and show it off.
Yeah.
It's exciting for homegrowers to have that opportunity. I love that you're offering that.
It is, yeah.
I don't know that there's anything else like it really happening for the homegrowers.
There's a lot of like awesome seed exchanges, and like, I mean, there's so many people who've just blazed amazing trails in the space, but something that combines the sesh, education, and yeah, being able to swap, you know, check out my Paradise Pine, check out, like, we have a member of our forum who brought this G-Fog that he created. He brought his daughter along last time. I mean, he blessed me with the bag of it, and the second I got back, I mean, literally first thing I did, just smoke it, and just I mean, there's nothing better than good home grow. So
I completely agree.
Yeah.
What a joy it is to talk to you about this amazing plant. Where will people find you if they want to look for you online in the world?
At ILGM official everywhere. I think on Facebook or something. We're like I love growing or something. But Grow Club, you can find us. We have a separate social media account. I'm really easy. My last name, there's like 3 of us in America, Kuczeruk. So I'm Kuczeruk at Gmail, /Kuczeruk on every platform, at Kuczeruk on every platform that's not a slash. And then I'm in the LA area. I'm in Silver Lake. If you ever want to get high, walk around the lake, the reservoir, I'm your guy. So
I'll look you up next week. Thank you so much. It was great to chat with you. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, powered by Shopline in association with ICBC and MJ BizCon. Please hit like and subscribe to our podcast and follow us at Canna Tech today.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
You've been on a mic.
Yeah, but I love the stuff. It's a lot easier when it's something you just love to talk about, you know? So